In this lesson, we are going to do what we call the candy problem. So it starts as 2 brands of candy were mixed in a 10-pound gift box costing $14.55. Brand X cost $1.50 per pound, and brand Y cost $1.35 per pound. How many pounds of each brand were in the gift box? This is an example of where each sentence does not make an equation. What we want to look for in these is the fact that we have different measurements being used. One is pounds, the other is money. And so we're going to write an equation that involves the pounds and an equation that involves the money. So first of all, we need to define our variables. I would say that X is the number of pounds for brand X. And then I'd say Y is the number of pounds for brand Y. And the reason I'm using pounds as my label is because I know when I'm buying things that are pounds, like if I go buy bananas at the grocery store, they weigh the bananas and decide how much it is. So if bananas are 49 cents a pound, they would take my weight times the amount of money it costs for bananas. So let's say I bought 3 pounds of bananas, they take 49 cents times 3, and that's how I would get my price of $1.47. So I'm using the pounds because I think to figure out the cost, since we're doing pounds, they're going to need to multiply those. So the first thing we have is we're going to have one equation about pounds and one equation about money. They said that I'm going to buy 10 pounds worth of candy. So my X is my number of pounds of brand X and my Y is my number of pounds of brand Y. So I'm going to say if I add my 2 different candies I'm buying together, it's going to equal 10 pounds. If I buy 3 pounds of the first one and 7 of the second, together they have to make 10. The second part then is actually finding out the cost of those. So just like bananas, my candy costs per pound. So it says the first one, X, costs $1.50 per pound. So I would take $1.50 times brand X to figure out how much that was going to cost me. Brand Y then would be $1.35 times brand Y. And I spent a total of $14.55. So if I add how much I spent on both of them, it should equal $14.55. So you'll notice this is the first time we've had a problem where the sentences don't make an equation, but we're grouping them by label. So pounds went in one equation, money went in the other. We want to keep money with money, pounds with pounds. If you wanted to, you could always put a 1 in front of here so you realize it's 1 pound of brand X and 1 pound of brand Y. From here then, I would choose to use maybe elimination, I think. I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top by negative 1.5. So when I distribute, I'd be able to eliminate my x's. Negative 1.5x minus 1.5y equals negative 15. So then since my x's add up to 0, I would have negative 0.15y equals negative 0.45. Divide by negative 0.15, and I find that y equals 3. So that means there are 3 pounds there would be 3 pounds of brand Y. And if there's 3 pounds of brand Y and I have to add them up to be 10, that means there's 7 pounds of brand X. And that would be my final answer. And it asked for both, so I gave them both.